I look so gross. I'm gonna do some awkward poses during this whole video because I'm a very awkward person. In this video, I'm gonna be talking about the fact that I am officially out as trans. Officially. It is out there in the world. I think I touched briefly in my last video about coming out to two of my sisters. Turns out the video that I had recorded, that long old like 15-minute long video, did survive. So I might edit and put that in here at some point, maybe at the end, because obviously you guys already know that I came out to two of my sisters shortly after my coming back video. And then it kind of was just grating on me that my parents didn't know, because I felt kind of shoddy knowing that two of these people in my family knew, but two of the most important people didn't. So I had booked some time off of work to go home, and I sat down with my parents and I didn't tell them. I was too much of a pansy to tell them on the first night back when they were actually sat together. So I sat there and watched TV with them for a bit, and then my dad had work the next day, so he wasn't home, and my mum was doing odd jobs that she had to do, and I ended up going and visiting a friend from school who I hadn't seen in quite a while, and I stayed at her house. It was like just a catch up basically. So I came home from my lovely evening away where I had drank quite a lot of wine, eaten good food, made friends with the cat, you know, the normal stuff. And I sat down and me and my mum were just having a general conversation about, you know, work and Lizzie and family and all this other stuff. And then I went, so where's Dad? And because it was the weekend, he doesn't usually work weekends. He does private jobs sometimes on the weekends, but he also does go and like see his parents and stuff. So it was one of those things where I could gauge how long it was going to take for him to come home, depending where he was. And Mum said that he was out, and I was like, oh okay, well there's something I wanted to talk to both of you about, but seeing as he's not here, I'll talk to you about it. And she was sort of a bit, okay. And I basically just explained that I had been to a doctor in the last couple of weeks to ask for a referral to a gender identity clinic, because I'm not happy in the body that I'm in and I feel really uncomfortable as this. And then I cried. She was sort of just like, okay, like, you don't need to get upset, you know, we're always going to be behind you no matter what, we're always going to support you. And I had mentioned that it's been so long in here, and I told her that like two of my sisters knew. One of my mum's main concerns was that it was going to affect my relationship with Lizzie. So I explained to her that she's known for basically as long as I've known, because we were friends before we got into a relationship, so it was, you know, she was one of those people that I could turn around and tell things to and not feel awkward seeing her the next day because she lived far away. I basically explained that it's not going to change any issues, it's not going to cause any issues or change anything, there we go, because she already knows and she's okay with it, and neither of us are actually lesbians, because obviously Lizzie's known for this whole time, so why would she identify as a female who is attracted to females when we're together and I'm not a female? But yeah, that was one of my mum's main concerns, which is weird because like you'd think that hormone replacement, mental health, surgeries, that kind of thing would be a concern, but I guess that's really far away. So yeah, I told my mum, and then she was like, do you want me to tell your dad? And I said, oh, I don't really know, depends what time he comes home, because I need to drive back to Stevenage, like I got things to do and people to see. So I sort of like went upstairs, packed my bag, got ready, watched a couple of YouTube videos, and then when I went for a wee, Mum called upstairs saying that Dad had just pulled into the car park. So I was like, okay. So I came downstairs and sat down with my dad and told him basically the same thing, that I'm at the very beginnings of going through a very big transition, because I need to be who I am. Like, I need to be able to feel like everything's correct, and at the moment it feels wrong. So, you know, he was fine with it. He was more concerned about how work was going for me. So that kind of just sums up my dad, though. He's like, alright, you do you. Oh, I will say, one of the things my mum asked was, did I want her to tell my brother and my other sister? And I said no. I'll message them and I'll let them know, because I feel like it's unfair for me to be the person to tell two of them and then palm the other two off on my mum. Like, that didn't seem fair to me. And I didn't want to have any regrets. I didn't want there to be any miscommunication either. I wanted them to know exactly what was going on from me, rather than whatever mum would have said. So I told them both in a message as well, basically saying, I find it really hard to talk about this kind of stuff, but this is happening. I'm a boy, so that's a thing now. Can you refer to me as your brother and stuff? So they were both cool with it. They both told their kids, I think. I mean, I told them that they could. It's one of those things where I was just like, I don't really want to have to tell all 5 nieces and nephews and, you know, partners as well. So I told my immediate family, and then they can pass on the information to their little families. So shortly after that, I will read you the exact status that I wrote on Facebook to come out to everyone else. So I told them on the Saturday, I think, and I was meant to go back to work on the Monday. So on the Sunday, that was my peak time to tell everyone else. Here is the status. So, I have some fairly big news. Some of you already know, but I'm making this status because finally my parents and siblings all know, so I feel like I can publicly tell everyone and not feel awkward about it. I'm a guy. Yep, I'm trans. That's it. I've felt like my body doesn't fit who I am for a long time, and I've questioned it for over 6 years now. I considered that it might be a weight issue, but I know for a fact that that is not the case. I don't really know what else to write here, so I guess if you have any questions, then just comment them or message me and I'll answer them. This has been a very long time coming, and there is still a very long way to go, so please be considerate and stuff. Also, if you have an issue with this, then feel free to unfriend me without sharing your shoddy opinion, because I'm finally happy and have finally accepted myself, so I don't need your negativity. Thank you. 89 people reacted to it. I had 54 love reacts and 35 likes. Yeah, it was surreal going back to work and having so many people immediately just be okay with it and like calling me he straight away and asking if I was still going to be Robin, asking if I was going to go into the men's changing rooms, that kind of thing. It's one of those slow processes because obviously I still present quite female most of the time, mainly because I don't like binding for long periods of time, especially not at work. But yeah, I'm out. The world knows. I'm out. It's happened. I've told work, I've told family, the entirety of my Facebook, and anyone who looks on my page knows. It's refreshing. It's refreshing to know that everyone knows. And honestly, having that like 7 or 8 years worth of dread and questioning and self-hatred and the secrets from everyone, it's nice to finally actually be able to be myself and out there and, you know, living my best life, I guess. So that's my update for today. I'm officially out.